What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony with Jhuly's Aquatics and Gardening, and welcome back to another video. Now, it's been a hot minute since I've uploaded, and I sincerely apologize for that. I've had a lot going on, but we're back, and we are officially in my favorite season, well, second favorite season of the whole year. My favorite season is winter. I love the winter time. But my second favorite season is definitely the fall, and this fall, for the first time, I'm going all out with my both indoor and outdoor decor. And that's for a couple of reasons. I have recently discovered, well, not discovered, I recently started using a tool that's been out for a while, but I thought I would never have any interest in. And it turns out that it has revolutionized the way that I think about my whole gardening plan, and it has trickled into me being able to take over just for a few weeks some of the details of our indoor holiday decor. So I want to talk about creating a mood board and talk to you about how I do it, and go over some resources that I've used in order to make my gardening life a little easier and a little bit more enjoyable. So first thing that I want to go over is starting a mood board is, again, not anything difficult. I was intimidated by it, and I just jumped in and I said, if it turns out, it turns out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So the first thing that I did was went out to Staples and I bought this sketchbook. I bought an oversized one because I know me, I like to, go big or go home. Now, creating a mood board is pretty simple. So there are a lot of different tools that you can use to make mood boards, a lot of online resources, websites, apps, what have you. But I'm a type of person that I need to have things in my hand. I don't like taking notes on electronic devices. I take notes with pen and paper still. So I've chosen to, because I need to touch it, see it, feel it, hold it, I've chosen to go the old-fashioned way. So I went to Staples and I got one of these oversized, really big sketch books. And I get subscriptions from different magazines and catalogs for ordering plants online and through the mail. And so what I did is I just simply went through and I saw plants and flowers that matched with what I thought my color muse was, or what I chose as my color muse and my color palette, and I cut them out and I put them together in what to me is a very artistic way on my mood board. So let me show you a page here. So the first thing that I do is up in the corner, I write down what the gardening season is, what my color scheme is, what containers I want to use, and all those little details, right? And then, well, I was fortunate enough where my mom used to make these mood boards because she's very into interior decorating. And so she had, I don't know where she got them from, but books and books of just color swatches, and she doesn't do it anymore. So I took her supplies, and so I wrote down in the upper corner here what my color muse is, and then I went through her old swatches and I picked out those colors that went with what I chose before, I put it all together. And then I saw, that they actually harmonized and looked good together. And then what I did is I went through my magazines and I picked out plants that kind of pulled on those color tones, and I placed them on that side of the mood board on both sides here. And then I selected out of the same magazines different containers that went with the theme. So if it looked good in my mind and while I was collecting them, then I put them on this page in my mood board, right? So I have this page here, and then I also found larger images for plants that I was hoping to get as I, was looking through different magazines. Some of the plants that I had on my mood board I ended up getting, thankfully. Others I didn't, but I found replacement plants for them. So my garden muse for this year, the color tones were golds, oranges, coppers, currants, and reds. And I wanted to do mostly galvanized planters And I'm going to be putting together a fall container arrangement, a trio of containers outside, and I'm going to be sticking to this color palette very strictly. I also went a little bit outside of what I had intended to do with 1 or 2 containers, and I have a couple of wood containers that I picked up from Lowe's. Well, one I picked up from Lowe's, and one I've had in the backyard for a couple of years that I used in my fall displays, or I'm going to use in my fall displays, and I'm hoping that they're going to come out great. So another resource that I have that I discovered is this garden journal from Lee Valley Tools. I think it was about $35, and it's a 10-year gardening journal, and it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. I can record my gardening purchases. You can see that, things that I liked and that inspired me, I cut out of magazines, and I just stuck them in the pages of the book here. I also, there's a space in here to record gardening purchases. And I have my order from Color Blends in here so I can record what I bought, when I bought it, and how much I paid. And so that has been awesome because I normally just have them all over the place, and then when I want them, I can't find them. So it's good that I have one place that I can put things in as I receive them. So a couple of more muses from my magazine clippings that I have that didn't fit onto my mood board. This is a look that I'm hoping to recreate. I did go out and buy some pumpkins, and I have this similar container in the backyard, and so this is going to be one of the one of the muses that I'm using. I'm not going to try to recreate this container exactly, but I like the colors. It blends well with what I have on my mood board for this fall, except that it's a different color container, but that's fine for me. So that's another point of inspiration. I just take different magazine clippings and I put them together. I see how they look, and I'm gonna try to recreate this same feel. Now again, I'm not going for replicating and duplicating these images exactly. What I want to do is just kind of draw inspiration from them and see if I can't put together something that makes sense to me and kind of pulls on those same feelings that I got when I was going through the magazines. So, a couple of more clippings here. I love this. It's just a basket with pumpkins and gourds in it. And I picked up a basket recently from a thrifting adventure, and I hope to fill it with tons and tons of pumpkins and gourds. So again, these are just inspirational images that I got and that I pulled out of these different magazines. And again, it has helped me when I go to the store stay focused. If you're anything like me, when the holidays come around, you just go off to the store, you see the display items, and you want to buy it. Sometimes they're too expensive, sometimes you overbuy, sometimes you underbuy, sometimes you get overwhelmed by your choices. And because you have no plan, then you end up buying things and you try to put them together. And a lot of times for me, it ends up in disappointment because I go to the store, it looks good in the store, but it doesn't look good in my home. So what I do is I get familiar with my living space. I choose things that I like and that will fit the scale, the style, the size, and the area that I have to work with. And so this has really, really revolutionized the way I'm doing things. And I've been able to pull together my interior decor in a way that makes sense, and hopefully I'll be able to take you around in the room that I'm in and in my dining room and show you what my wife and I did for our fall display. I also did my spring mood board. Now, when I originally ordered from Color Blends, I just ordered a whole bunch of different tulips. things that I saw other YouTubers order and use and I liked, and I put them on my order. But then when I discovered this style of designing, I realized that I wanted a white and yellow spring garden display. Last year I did purple and white, and that just kind of evolved because that's what I actually ordered. And it's not because I planned to do purple and white, it's just that I happened to order a bunch of purple and white tulips and hyacinths, and I said, okay, well, I guess it's purple and white. And so I made it work. This year I realized that I ordered a lot of white and pink. I didn't really want to do that. So I went and changed my color blends order like 4 different times. And color blends is amazing. They never had an attitude. They changed my order. Their customer service is superb. It's phenomenal. And so I'll go over my color blends order when I receive it. But some of the things that I did order were Carnegie hyacinths, Yellowstone hyacinths, Bud Light tulips. And so it's just a bunch of white and yellow. And what was really the thing that made me decide to go with white and yellow is this thanks and praise mix of tulips that I saw in my Color Blends catalog. Now, if you have not ordered from Color Blends before, I would highly suggest that you do, because you won't be disappointed. So I didn't want, or I thought I didn't want 100 tulips because I hate planting tulips and it's a pain in the butt. And I ended up ordering about 200 tulips, which, whatever. But, so I thought I didn't want to order so many tulips. That's why I didn't get the Thanks and Praise blend. So I ordered a whole bunch of different tulips to kind of get that same effect. So again, I'll go over in great detail my color blends order, but again, it really is like doing it for me just to see these tulips on paper, and I'm excited for it. I also did my Christmas display, and some things that have inspired me as I've gotten my catalogs and magazines. And so I put them together, and I'm loving the way that it's turning out. So I'm going to make sure I give you guys some close-ups of these pages so that you can see what I'm seeing and hopefully get inspired to go out there and make your own mood board. Again, it doesn't have to be something expensive. There are free resources and tools that you can use online. So if you're a more technical type of person and you like to have it on your computer, do it that way. If you want to download an app to make one, do it that way. If you want to go the old-fashioned way like me and my mom and put it on a book, do it that way. But I would definitely encourage you to start doing inspirational boards for your garden displays, for your interior decor, whatever you're going to, whatever your hobby is, do a mood board for it. I think it'll change your life as much as it changed mine. And again, if you can order one of these 10-year gardening journals from Lee Valley Tools, do it. Okay, so on September 23rd, it has 10 different spots there for 10 different years. You can record the year, the temperature, what the conditions were like, and it has space for what you did. So on September 23rd, I collected hyacinth bulbs from around the garden from containers from this past spring. And I purchased new bulbs for hyacinths from Costco, and I put them into cold storage, and I wrote the date down when they're supposed to come out of cold storage so that I can use them in winter and early spring interior displays. So, I mean, it's great, and it keeps me on track, and I can write down ideas, I can write down what I did, and I can reference them from year to year. So any one of these tools and resources that you want to use in order to get you going for the different seasons that we approach, whether it be, you know, a mood board for your Thanksgiving meal, what you want to make, putting it on a mood board and having it so that you can keep yourself on track is a good thing. What do you want to do for your Thanksgiving tablescape? you can do that. If you're doing a renovation on your house, you can make a mood board for how you want to style that new room. Whatever it is, make a mood board for it. And let me know in the comments, have you ever done a mood board before? Do you like it? Do you, draw inspiration from it? How long have you been doing it? And let's start a conversation down below. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We will be pumping out much more content in the next coming weeks, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, in all things, give thanks and enjoy your garden and enjoy the holidays as they are quickly approaching. And it's fall season. Get out there and plant something. All right? Take care, guys.